The law of somatic forgiveness, the inner doctor, chapter 11. Forgiveness is not merely a moral action, a lofty spiritual attitude. It is above all a therapeutic function with immediate physical repercussions. The human body reacts intensely to unresolved emotions, and resentment is among the most harmful of them. Not because it's a sin in the traditional religious sense, but because it creates a toxic emotional environment that, when sustained, disrupted organic systems. Resentment does not remain in the mind. It descends, circulates through the blood, accumulates in tissues, anchors in organs, and often manifests as gastric ulcers, irritable bowel syndrome, chronic inflammation, constant muscle tension, migraines, or autoimmune conditions. The body does not forget what the mind refused to release. That is why I must speak of forgiveness as a somatic process. When the subconscious receives the command to not forget, not release, not forgive, it interprets that you must continue defending a wound. And the most basic defense mechanism is inflammation. This is why some people sustain localized inflammation for years without a clear medical explanation, while harboring old grudges against parents, former partners, bosses, or even against themselves. What we call emotional pain eventually becomes physical pain because the body seeks an outlet that the mind denies, and that outlet is often a symptom. Just as an unresolved mind becomes a repetitive inner inflamed organ, an injured mucosa, a blocked system, the body longs for peace but cannot attain it if you insist on holding war within. I recall the case of a 43-year-old sales manager who suffered from recurred gastric ulcers. His diet was sound. He didn't smoke or drink excessively. He had tried various treatments that brought temporary relief, but the symptoms always returned. Through conversation, we discovered he had been carrying deep resentment against his father for over a decade, stemming from verbal humiliation during his teenage years. He said, I got over it. It doesn't affect me anymore. But his body disagreed. His body kept manifesting that wound in the gastric tissue because the subconscious doesn't erase information just because you rationalized it. It needs a real act of release. I proposed a somatic forgiveness exercise. Every night he was to lie down, place his hand on his stomach, and repeat, I release this burden. I forgive. I let ulcer this ulcer is the echo of a memory I no longer need. Love enters now. The fire is extinguished. Peace takes its place. He was to repeat this for 10 minutes while visualizing a cascade of cool light descending from his throat to his stomach. After 20 days, his episodes of acidity diminished. By day 40, clinical studies showed significant improvements. His inner voice had replaced resentment with understanding, and his obedient body stop protecting him through inflammation. This principle is not new. Jesus said, "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespassed against us." Whether um, Matthew 6:12, when translated into the language of mental law, this implies that forgiveness is not an act we perform for others. It's a decision that frees us from the physiological consequences of resentment. A mind that harbors grudges activates the sympathetic nervous system, speeds up the heartbeat, disrupts digestion, weakens immunity, and blocks regeneration. But a forgiving mind reduces tension, harmonizes, and allows the body to return to its original function. It is not about justifying injustice. It's about stopping the inner fuel of harm. Somatic forgiveness can be practiced even when not felt spontaneously. The act over verbally declaring, "I forgive you, I forgive myself," all is at peace, even if not accompanied by immediate emotion, is enough for the subconscious to begin working in that direction, because the subconscious responds to sustained instruction, not fleeting feelings. If you repeat a forgiveness prayer daily, your nervous system will interpret the sequence as a new command and will adjust your organic processes accordingly. You will stop producing cortisol from chronic anger. Your mucous membranes will begin producing protective substance again. Inflammation will decrease. The immune system will realign not by magic, but by biological obedience to a new mental pattern. A woman with chronic joint inflammation once confided that she had harbored suppressed anger towards herself for years over an abortion she never revealed to her family. No one was judging her anymore except herself. I suggest she begin a somatic self-liberation protocol. Every morning upon waking, she was to place her hands on her knees and repeat, "I forgive you. It's over. The past holds no power. The body is innocent. Only love remains here." She begins this process in tears. Her body did not forget what had been uh, at what happened, but it stopped punishing itself. Inflammation subsided, her mobility improved, her sleep regulated, and with it came the certainty that forgiveness is much more than a moral act. It is a physiological act. It is not about finding someone to blame. It's about understanding that every sustained negative emotion has a biological price, and that forgiveness does not free others. It frees you. It frees your glands, your tissues, your nervous system, your cells from a burden they were never meant to carry. You do not forgive the body because a battlefield. If you forgive, it becomes a temple of harmony. Do not exercise right now. Close your eyes. Place your hands where you feel the most tension, your stomach, your neck, your chest, back, wherever, and repeat, "I release this. I forgive. I forgive myself. This part of my body no longer need to inflame to speak. I listen. I release. I heal." Repeat this exercise for 7 consecutive days. Do not wait to feel forgiveness as an emotion. Focus on declaring it as an instruction. The subconscious does not need enthusiasm, it needs direction. And remember, peace is not a feeling. That appears. It is a state that is commanded, and your body is waiting for that command. Thank you.